So Dapple is a 2-ply DK weight woolen spun wool cotton blend, 60% merino wool from Colorado, 40% organic cotton from Texas, dyed in these amazing tonal colorways that are different in every single skein. We went with this really bright, fun, lively color palette with some great neutrals as well, because you always need those. Just that little bit more wool gives it that spring and that liveliness, while the cotton makes it really soft and light. And then the fact that we went with a woolen spun construction just makes it so airy and bouncy and nice to knit with. The way we dyed Dapple is we used a dye that strikes on the wool fibers, but not on the cotton fibers. So because the blend of wool and cotton kind of shifts throughout each skein, you get these great color variations from skein to skein, within skeins, and you see those more in the darker colors because you've got the white cotton showing through the dyed color of the wool. So people will be able to do fades and ombres, or they can just close their eyes and grab a skein and just embrace the change.
So Dapple is a DK weight yarn, and I'm so glad and excited to say that it can be used interchangeably for any of Brooklyn Tweed's patterns that are written for arbor.
Well, while I was working with it, and I've done 3 projects with it now, and we happen to have a new baby in our family, so I'm thinking, you know, baby clothes. I decided to knit Jared's interval shawl just to see what it would look like to go from the lightest to the darkest tone. And I was so pleasantly surprised by how smooth it flowed from one shade to another.
Our commitment to breed-specific sourcing has always been a way for us, when working with wool as a base fiber, to get that intentionality and that deeper understanding of the raw materials that we're working with. When we found Texas Organic Cotton Marketing Co-op, they really resonated with our values as a company, and that was probably the thing that really set that spark first. The co-op has been in place since 1993. It started out as a cooperative of 20 farmers on the high plains of Texas. They're based in Lubbock, Texas. And now, more than 25 years later, there are between 30 and 35 active members in the co-op. There's a lot of problematic environmental issues with growing cotton the way that it's been grown in kind of an overproduction model historically in the United States. And so meeting the Texas Organic Cotton folks showed us that there are growers out there who care about not just, you know, sustainable labor practices and being able to make a fair wage and sell your crops for a fair price, but also people that really cared about what they were doing to the land that they're using to grow this fiber.
By being a co-op, all of the farmers have a stake in the business. They have agency in the business, and they also have dignified work in the labor that they do. It's good for the environment. They don't use pesticides, they use rainwater for irrigation, and they use the land in a way that works with it instead of against it.
The wool is another big piece of developing the yarn, and so softness was a big consideration for us at that point. We have a lot of different breeds available to us in the United States that we can source from, and one of the breeds that felt like a right fit for us was a pure merino. So we went on a hunt for a merino worthy of Dapple and found a really, really beautiful merino source in Colorado. One of the beautiful things about merino that I've noticed in working with it before is how well it takes color.
When you knit with Dapple, because you have these beautiful color variations and this tonal dye quality, it really means that whatever project you knit is 100% yours. I could knit something, my friend could knit something, and exactly the same color, and they will look different. So you get this one-of-a-kind quality, which I feel like for personal knits and for gift knits especially is really lovely, because it really says, I knit this one piece just for you, and nobody else has anything like it. cotton is this beautiful, soft, natural fiber, but it carries with it this juxtaposition, this harsh and violent history in America. When you look back to plantation slavery, you're talking about the displacement of indigenous peoples. You're talking about the exploitation and the brutality of enslaved Black peoples. And you're also talking about the complete destruction of the land through overproduction. So in moving towards a more sustainable and equitable future, we have to think about the diversity of agriculture. And currently, only 2% of farmers in America are Black, and Black farmers make up only 0.57% of landowners.
One of the organizations that we found in our research is the National Black Farmers Association, which is a nonprofit organization founded in 1995 with the goal of supporting farmers of marginalized groups who have been historically barred from land ownership in the United States, have been blocked from receiving grants that white farmers have received, and really sustaining this inequitable agricultural model that has been present in our country from the beginning. So 3% of the profits for sales of Dapple in perpetuity, as long as we make the yarn, are going to be going to the NBFA, the National Black Farmers Association. And it's also an organization that we would love to tell more people about and have more people learn about through either the contribution that we make through Dapple or direct donations to the organization as well.